Welcome back to In Defense of the Awkward Moment. Game of Thrones Season 2. Joining me again, Michael Zupon. Slightly different location than last time, but hopefully the setup will be a little bit better for the audio. Season 2. Drilled Season 2
quickly.
Relatively quickly. Yes. Binge watching is a real thing. It's very much a real thing. For the most part,
Better than season one?
much better than season 1. That's actually the very first thing that I have here on my list of notes is that I do think season 2 is better than season 1, and I think one of the reasons why season 2 is so much better is because of season 1. One of the big problems that I really thought that the show had, and that to a certain extent I still think the show has, is world building. We talked about that extensively, so I won't rehash that again. But
So much world to build.
yeah, now that you've got all of that, there's just a little bit less to digest. You're not being hit left and right constantly with new people and new names and new places. So it's a little bit easier to get your arms around. The storylines really have kind of condensed a little bit.
They mentioned the books have an index about that thick each of houses, their allies, their members, their histories.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not. Easier to watch than season 1, to be sure. So credit there where it's due. The show has a huge problem with names, and I think we jawed about this a little bit about season 1 as well. And was it Honest Trailers?
Mm-hmm.
That had
just that there's so many names to keep track of.
There are so many names to keep track of, and the show doesn't really do a good job, like, saying the names clearly and smoothly, and then repeatedly when the people are on the screen, which it does make the dialogue a little bit more, a little bit more realistic. But just as an example, Karth.
Do you need a little overlay to show up on the screen?
I really augmented reality Game of Thrones or Game of Thrones pop-up video.
Yes.
Do it.
Do it, pop-up video.
What would be just an absolute blast.
I think they have that on the extras. Have you looked?
Do they? No, I haven't looked. We got finished watching one of them, and I was like, "Oh, look, season 3."
Might want to check.
Might do, but that would be helpful if you just had a little follow along. This is who this person is. Of course, then your screen would be full of arrows. Here are all these extras here in the background, and they each have names. And
This guy's
backstories.
meaningless. Don't worry about him.
Yeah,
Red shirt.
Everybody
Red shirt.
overlaid
Red
with
shirt.
a red shirt.
Another red shirt. Another red shirt. Red shirt with a name.
But Karth is a perfect example, and we actually are going to talk about Karth quite a few times. But I couldn't tell you the name of a single person inside of
Xandar
Karth.
Zando Zorn and Pirate P, and his name is really Pirate P.
Yeah, Xandar Zando Zorn. I mean, I can't even. And I said I was going to talk about Karth a little bit more, and so I am going to talk about Karth a little bit more. It's season 2. A lot of it, I think pretty much all of it, for Dany, takes place instead of season 2. And again, I get the feeling that part of the book, there's a lot that's going on there, and there's a lot that's happening there, and it feels kind of rushed in the TV show.
Her trip through the House of the Undying gives you so much prophecy.
Yes.
So much that they don't cover in the show.
So skipping to the end,
as much of as you talk about the foreshadowing hammer, the prophecy hammer in there is,
oh my goodness, yes,
is both barrels.
Skipping to the end here, because this is literally the last thing I had on my note sheet, was talking about Dany again.
She's your favorite character. You know
Oh my god,
you so want to hit the Mother of Dragons.
yeah, I absolutely do want to hit the Mother of Dragons. You're right.
With a pimp slap.
Or something bigger.
Set Tyrion loose on her. Imp slap, imp slap, imp slap.
The business in Karth with the warlocks. As you say, the House of the Undying. There's clearly just so much going on there. There's so much going on there with the house itself and with the scene, with all of the prophecy and all of the foreshadowing. There's clearly so much going on that is bleeding over into the sitting of Karth itself, with Xandar Zan becoming the king all of a sudden, and political maneuvering and blah, 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 and the vault being empty. Which, I didn't say this out front, but at this point, if you haven't figured out that there are going to be spoilers in these discussions, then it's your own damn fault.
If you haven't watched it in the last 6 years,
then you're me. I really, it felt like there was a lot of potentially rich backstory there that didn't get expressed very well in the TV show.
There is a subtlety in the books that is not conveyed in the TV show, that with the return of the dragons, magic starts to flow into the world again.
And they've alluded several times, the Maester of Winterfell, who's another name that I don't know, the Maester of Winterfell having that conversation with Bran early in the first season, I think, about how magic hasn't been in the world for blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, right. I mean, that's... Congratulations, you've just officially declared that magic will be coming back into the world. And then, of course, you see Princess Red Hot Demon Vagina, and the black thing...
Priestess Red Hot Demon Vagina.
Yes, that's true.
Princess Red Hot Demon Vagina is Dany. So...
That's
Red
fair.
Hot Dragon Vagina and Red Hot Demon Vagina. You know, Melisandre, the issuer of semen demons. It's their official name.
Wow, that's awful and accurate. Oh, by the way, midget porn. There, I got that out of the way. I hope you're happy. This is one of the single biggest things after somebody watched the first thing is that there's all this discussion about Game of Thrones and there's all discussion about naked people and how you love Tyrion, and nobody once talked about midget porn. And so there you go. I've gotten that out of the way just for you.
It really wasn't midget porn.
No. That's one of the reasons why
it wasn't even midget hard R. It was, it was just...
Yeah. Which, now that we're talking about midget porn, and this bleeds over a little bit into season 3 as well, as if you didn't need more reason to love Tyrion, the scenes between him and Shay, especially early on, I think it's in the first episode of season 3, the scene between her and Shay after Maester Pycelle takes the wrap, or wakes him up and, hey, you've been injured, blah, blah, blah. She takes the wrap off of his face. And yes, I mean, that he's still a little bit injured inside and still a little bit insecure and blah, 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 blah. But the scene between him and Shay where she tells him once again that she's sticking around, holy moly. Maybe the best moment.
Touching.
Oh, maybe the best moment in television so far in this.
In the books, he loses his nose.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's awkward for him.
Yeah, I mean,
hence the mentioning in the... Hence the mentioning in the there's a note in the scene about, I heard you had lost your nose, but
yeah,
I can see that it's not really that bad at all.
Yeah, in the books, he's a little Phantom of the Opera with the...
Oh, really? No, that whole scene was just so good. So very, very good.
Their scenes together are so touching.
It's just well done. It really, really is. Again, there's nothing particularly surprising there. It's just they're both very, very good at what they're doing.
And that's Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter. So.
No shit.
No shit.
Huh. Okay.
Una Chaplin, that's her name.
Una?
O-O-N-A. Una
yeah.
Chaplin.
Wow. Yeah. Very well done. Very, very well done. We talked about this a little bit off camera just a few minutes ago. But the business with the wildfire in Blackwater Bay. So good.
Blackwater is one of the great episodes of the series.
Oh. So good.
One of those diamonds we talk about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the little Monty Python there. They spent all the budget for the season on the 3 minutes of footage from Blackwater Bay. Holy schmotzka balls. Absolutely gorgeous. Watched it in Blu-ray. Worth it.
You really get to see who people are when the city is on fire.
Indeed. Indeed. No, I was... that whole episode, as I nearly dropped tea all over my...
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Character updates. Somehow, in the midst of everything else that was going on, George R.R. Martin found time to make Sansa even dumber and more useless than she was in season 1. Well done. Holy crap. Especially after Marjorie Tyrell arrives.
Mm-hmm. And you can see the difference between somebody raised to play the Game of Thrones and somebody raised to be a pretty girl.
Yeah, and
somebody's wife.
Were we? I think you and I were sitting over in the living room watching the end of season 2 when she's having that very, very practical discussion with. Hello. Yeah.
Guest starring Alabaster the Chub.
When she's telling Baratheon the Younger, whose name Rhaegon, the dead Baratheon, Renly. The best thing that you can do right now is to get me pregnant.
Yep.
eminently pragmatic, and you see a little bit more of that in season 3. But holy moly, yeah, you talk about somebody who knows how to smoothly, beautifully play the game, and we'll talk a little bit more about her.
Wait till you meet her grandmother.
Just incredible. Such a huge difference between her and Sansa. I mean, Sansa just gets.
Like I said, one of them was raised to play the game. The other one was raised to be somebody's pretty wife.
Yeah. I mean, it just. Yeah, Sansa hurts. The scenes with her hurt.
Sansa hurts.
And then after, the thing about Sansa that absolutely kills me is after everything goes colossally tits up in the throne room, and Joffrey pledges himself to Marjorie of Tyrell again, she still won't leave.
She can't leave. She's a hostage.
But the Hound comes to her in her room, in the TV show anyway, I'm not sure about the books.
Yes.
The Hound comes to her in her room and says, we can get out of here. I will take you. We will leave. We can get out of here right now. And she still won't leave.
That happened before the murders.
Oh, now you want to talk.
Just saying. Sequence of events.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The Hound comes to her during the battle after he's fled the walls because of the fire.
Yeah.
And says, we can get out of here. That's before Marjorie and Joffrey pledge their trust.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Is it before?
Yes. Okay. The battle is still undecided when the Hound comes to her. So she is afraid to leave the tower.
Okay.
That, and I go into it more in the books, the mental abuse that Sansa has gone through basically makes her reluctant to trust anyone.
It's fair.
Especially somebody so openly tied to the Lannisters as the Hound.
Clegane.
House Clegane, yes. The mountain and the doggy.
Indeed. Brienne of Tarth. We talked about this a little bit in the
As
last
LG a
podcast.
paladin as you would ever
my
hope to
God.
find.
Oh my God. She's written like a plank of wood, which is such a shame because Gwendolyn Christie clearly has charisma to spare, which paladin appropriate.
The character she's playing does not.
Not even a little bit. There's so much more that could be done with Brienne of Tarth. It's such a wasted opportunity. Every time she's on screen, I keep hoping. No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. So that's sad and disappointing. And from what I can understand, she's utterly unredeemed throughout the entire show. Jaqen, holy moly! I kind of had a feeling that's what he was, but he.
Spoiler alert. He's
just
a faceless man.
But that just the guy that got to play Jaqen, couldn't tell you what his name is. I'm sorry. The guy that got to play Jaqen and the manner in which he plays him and how I have to assume that he talks the way he does in the book as well, which makes sense if you're a faceless person who really doesn't have an identity. So good.
A man kicks ass on screen.
A man kicks ass on screen. Yeah. When he offers Arya the chance to go back and basically become a disciple of the Red God and learn how to kick ass on a grand and profound scale, you're like, oh, say yes, say yes, say yes. Oh, no. I really, really wished, especially with how much she enjoyed working with the dancing master.
Sirio.
The Bravara.
Bravosi.
Bravosi. Oh yeah, Sirio is amazing. I really, really wish you would have taken him up on that. I hope by the time everything is said and done, that she takes the opportunity somewhere to learn how to kick a little bit more ass. That would have made me super duper happy if she would have gone with it. You're just sitting here looking at me like this, trying not to say anything. I can see it in your eyes.
There's spoilers when there's spoilers, and
I'll get there.
You'll get there. You got 3 more, 5 more seasons to go.
I got a sack full of DVDs. I'll get there. Tywin, Charles Dance. I mean, we talked about this before.
Him and Arya, they should make a buddy movie.
Oh yeah, those two scenes.
They should film Logan 2 with those two.
The scene at the stonemason conversation was so good between those two. It really, really was. What's killing me, and I don't have any problems with Tywin being just an absolutely delicious bad guy. Charles Dance makes me think of Christopher Plummer and the way that he plays Chang in Star Trek VI. The two of them really They really
They find a nice
that
bit of
same-
scenery and they just gnaw it.
Oh yeah, they just hunker down. They just really do. But he's a little confusing to me. And this is more of a season 3, an episode 1 of season 3 thing than it is a season 2. But he alternates so wildly between giving Tyrion responsibility and then absolutely treating him like dog shit. He makes him acting king of the hand, a huge, prominent, important experience, charges him to go to King's Landing and prevent Cersei and Joffrey from fucking up any more than they already have.
They're really good at it.
They are really good at it. It's clear that not only does Tyrion do this, but he goes above and beyond in terms of salvaging the Battle of Blackwater Bay. And he's treated so poorly for it, and I guess that might be one of the reasons why Tywin is such a dick. But
And I don't know how much they've gone into it in the story because I haven't been watching with you as we go along. Tywin has a very complex relationship with his youngest son. The birth of his youngest son caused the death of his wife,
yeah, and they do mention that in the TV show.
who was the only person on the planet that Tywin ever actually loved. The fact that he also came out a dwarf basically ruined the early years of their relationship.
Sure.
Tyrion trying to get the affection of his father, there might be some daddy issue there. Realized he was never going to do it, and then rebelled by hanging out with whores and getting drunk, and basically, going the complete opposite. It's like,
Yeah.
Dad's never going to like me. I'm going to get drunk.
Yeah.
Which, of course, made Tywin dislike him even more. The problem comes in when the Mad King takes Tywin's heir, Jaime Lannister, and puts him on the Kingsguard, which basically means he forswears all family ties.
Yeah,
family
now he can't
oaths.
possibly be a successor.
Now he is not the successor. So the only heir Tywin has
Is
is
Tyrion.
this little shit that he hates. But part of him, despite hating Tyrion, realizes that Tyrion is actually competent. If he gives him a job, he will get it done. And he knows, or his pride will not let him give the hand of the king to anybody else.
That's fair.
Because he needs his brother, Kevin Lannister, who I don't know has shown up in the show yet or not. But Tywin's little brother,
Kevin
Lannister,
Oh, he is.
Kevan, is basically his sidekick. He's the one who he's his administrative officer. He's almost as competent as Tywin, if not as brilliant. And then basically Tyrion is his go do stuff when I can't be bothered, or I have a war to win. Go ride herd on my stupid daughter and her ignorant inbred child,
Yes.
who happens to be the king.
Yeah. Something that I did find a little confusing, and this is again season 3, episode 1 of season 3, a little bit of overlap there. With all that's happened between Tyrion and Grand Maester Pycelle, him throwing him in the dungeons, him cutting off his beard, threatening to kill him, I don't know how many times. Tyrion wakes up in his little room. He's been bandaged and cleaned, and it's by Grand Maester Pycelle. How in the world did either Shay or Bronn let that happen? For him to wake up in a room alone with Grand Maester Pycelle.
Probably came with a lot of guards.
Probably.
Because Bronn's a badass, but he's not going to take on the whole army.
That's fair.
Not unless he has a flaming arrow and a whole lake full of wildfire. To
No
burn.
kidding. No kidding. Indeed. Stannis the Manus.
Stannis the Manus.
Stannis is officially useless. And
How do we feel about Stannis
yeah,
today?
Stannis is officially useless. We talk about things de-evolving between season 1 and season 2. Sansa and Stannis both, for everything that Stannis is, for how much he's lived his entire life being upright and proper in Myrna, for him to be drawn so far aside by the priestess.
The demon vagina?
But yes, indeed, Voodoo Punani, I guess is
Literally,
what that
yes.
is. Yeah, Stannis so far aside, so far fallen, that he just he can't see what's going on, and maybe he just wants power that badly.
It is his right. The throne is his by right. Just ask him. He will tell you that the throne is his by right.
He's just as eager for you to know that as he is for you to know that winter is coming, huh?
Well, as much as a Stark would be able to tell you that winter is coming. The night is dark and full of terrors.
The night is dark and full of terrors. Yeah, Stannis is useless. I'm officially so disinterested in his story arc now. Delighted to see that the Onion Knight survived. That made me happy. Davos.
Sir Davos.
Sir Davos. Yeah, I there's the Onion Man is the everyman. The Onion Knight, rather. Delighted to see that he's
One of the few good people left in the show.
But yeah, no, Stannis is a pig-faced waste of blood and organs. to quote the Bard, he really is. Jon Snow.
How are we feeling about the traitor John?
The recipient of even more poor foreshadowing when Ygritte shows up. Holy moly! Also, I hear
But
that those
she's
two
so
are
cute.
no
Rose Leslie, just
no discounting that. I hear
adorables.
they're getting hitched in real life.
It could
Kit
happen.
Harington and no, it was
Rose Leslie.
Yeah, there's a thing on the interwebs. If they're not seriously romantically, if they're not engaged, then they're seriously romantically involved.
I knew they were back in season 2 when they were doing all of this stuff. I don't know
Yeah,
if
which
they
I mean, you
still
can't blame him. But no, Jon Snow.
What can you do about him?
Kill him.
He's so gormless.
Kill him. That's what you can do about him. He continues that whole arc. I just continue to be so disinterested in what's going on there.
But they're above the wall. There's wildlings and giants and mammoths and
Yeah, the bit with the giant was cool. The first time you really got a good look at the giant when he was pounding tent stakes in. You're like,
Holy crap!
yeah, that was good. So looking forward to that, and then of course the at the end of the season, the charge of the White Walkers and the Whites,
And Sam.
and Sam.
Sam
How
the-
is he not dead?
Sam the failure.
How is he not? He had one job to do.
He had one job.
How is he not dead?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That scene where everybody just looks at him and walks past. I don't know how he gets away with
Can't
that.
be bothered.
Yeah, it's like we're here to kill all life, but you have no life, so
Yeah,
we're
you-
just gonna keep walking.
Congratulations, you don't even rank. It's you and the Rock.
I know that's what I couldn't figure out. You know, it's just,
Yeah, no, it's
doesn't happen that way in the books. It's just like the White Walker's like, oh god, you're not worth scraping off my boot.
nope, not even a little bit. Marjorie Tyrell, we've talked about this a little bit. She's frapping brilliant. I love seeing her subvert Cersei. I love seeing her manipulate Joffrey. I have no doubt that there's going to be a couple of stern conversations where Lena Headey overacts the shite out of it. But that makes me happy. It really does. And so far, she's done all of it without being an absolute monster. So we'll see how long that keeps up. Mm-hmm. We really will.
You think you could fight Cersei without being an absolute monster?
Probably not. Probably not. Sooner or later, she'd stoop to something. I won't be surprised. Joffrey, still alive, still needs to die horribly. End of note.
I don't know why. It's just a misunderstood kid.
Oh, shit.
Marjorie,
Yeah.
master manipulator,
Yeah, Marjorie, master manipulator. Joffrey still needs to die.
fan of cleavage.
Right? The dresses. Yeah, Marjorie's dresses are eye-catching. There's just no other way to put that. It was nice to see Khal Drogo again.
Mm-hmm. Even in the dream sequence.
Yeah, it actually made me a little sad. It did to see Khal Drogo again. That entire culture, the Dothraki, are so much more interesting than Dany. Their mindset is so much more interesting than Dany. It's more interesting than a lot of the stuff that's going on in the show right now. It's too bad that it's probably the last we'll see of Khal Drogo.
Well, you always have the barbarian culture versus the civilized culture, that whole dichotomy, and it's like,
Yeah, no, it was good to see. It was good to see Khal Drogo, Jason Momoa again, of course.
and the baby,
Yes, and the baby. You need to see what the baby would have looked like.
little naked Khal Drogo babies.
Indeed. This is a season 3 thing again. Early on in season 3, it was nice to see Barristan
Selmy.
Selmy. It was nice to see Barristan Selmy back in play again. At the very, very beginning of season 3, I think at the end of season 3, episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to see him back in play again.
And he just keeps collecting pieces.
And she keeps collecting very cool pieces. Gosh darn it.
Gathering assets there.
Jorah Mormont must have the patience of a saint. He must. for not those Batman comics that you always see the memes made out of where he's slapping Robin. You just want to replace Batman with Jorah and Robin with Cersei.
Danny.
With Danny. No,
Go west.
Stop screwing around. Stop being stupid. Who cuts a nipple off? That was season 3 as well. Who cuts a nipple off? Who does that? Rude. Totally rude. Rob Stark, continuing the tradition of idiocy.
He inherited it from his mother.
Holy crap. Yeah. It was nice to see Cat finally thrown in prison.
Thrown in jail for gross stupidity?
Yeah, for being Cat.
So how do you feel about the whole Jaime Lannister thing?
What about her letting Jaime go?
Not only letting him go, but sending him south with one bodyguard.
Well, I mean, if you had to pick a bodyguard, yes, she took Int as a dump stat, but, I mean, she's clearly going to go and do... She's not smart enough to deviate. She's not smart enough to be discouraged or diverted. She's clearly strong enough to subvert any takers by main force.
Mm-hmm.
No, the thing that boggles me so much about her letting Jaime go is...
Beyond the stupidity.
Yeah, with everything else that's going on, how can you guarantee that Arya and Sansa are still there and that they're still alive?
Yeah.
I mean, without proof of life. 3 little words. Yeah, proof of life. And yet she does what she does anyway.
Oh, yeah. Because she's a heartbroken mother.
The blaring lack of an understanding of the bigger picture on behalf of Cat Stark, pretty much throughout the entire show so far, is just breathtaking. And as much as I'd love to sit here and dump on Rob, yes, Rob was promised to someone who I have no doubt is going to be horse ugly. The twins, with the house that controls the twins. The Freys. Promised to daughter Frey.
He has so many. There has to be one that isn't a horse.
Which they addressed that in the TV show, which I thought was kind of funny. One of them's not bad. That's the one we promised you too. And that doesn't... Yeah, okay. The business of queen versus concubine versus whatever. Okay, that's fine. Royal arrangements have been made like that in the past. So I take less issue with Robb Stark doing that. But just in the midst of everything else, him being completely and totally unwilling to walk the line there.
Yeah, he has his mother's stupidity and his dad's sense of honor. It's a bad
dangerous.
combination.
It's a dangerous combination. It really is. Last but certainly not least, we kind of talked about Dany again.
Must we?
Yeah, we must. You said something during the season 1 podcast that just continues to resonate so strongly with me, and that's that Dany Targaryen does stuff throughout this television show that would get any other character dead. Quickly, immediately, probably graphically, any other character dead. Her ability to lip off with 0 consequences just because she has dragons is overwhelming. And this is even at a part of the show when the dragons ain't particularly big. Start of season 3, they're on the open water. The dragons are a little bit bigger. But when the dragons are little pygmy things, you literally have nothing. You don't even have a swinging set of balls.
So here's my problem with season 2, and the perfect example of Dany's plot armor.
Mm-hmm.
She has 30, maybe 40 old, sick, weak, dehydrated, hungry fugitives. She has 3 of the most precious things in the world, and this armed city just doesn't swoop down, enslave them all, take the dragons, and sell her off to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't instantly just fall prey to main force and
in the predatory society that appears to be Essos, where everybody is looking for the main advantage on somebody else. Somebody drops 3 diamonds into your midst, can't defend them for anything, and you just invite them into the city and treat them like honored guests. That doesn't happen to anybody else wandering around Essos with 3 very valuable objects that people know about. It's not just that it's a secret. They know about the dragons. They want to see the dragons. It's not, hey, come on into the city. We will poison you, chain you. We're going to take away your pets.
The American gods your ass with arrows out in front of the city walls, which for anybody who hasn't watched that. Good television. Go watch the first 5 minutes of the first episode of American Gods when we talk about American godding somebody with arrows.
There might be blood.
Yeah, how do you not just rain arrows down on somebody from outside of the city and go ahead?
Or you don't even have to rain arrows on them. There's 50 slaves out there. One of them relatively good looking. Plus her 2 handmaidens. Who, one of them, bad things happen. But, hey, look, you have pleasure slaves walking up to your door with 3 dragon babies. And you don't just take them away.
Yeah, no,
That's Danny's, that's the thickness of Danny's plot armor.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen to anybody else on the world.
Nope, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. We talk about the business in. We talked about Karth, and here we are. We talked about it at the beginning of this clip. And we're back to Karth again. The business with what's his name again? I keep on wanting to call him Zardoz. And
Zardoz. You can just call him Zardoz.
There's a big
Xanthos Drax, and whatever his name is.
Have you seen Sean Connery in his Zardoz getup?
Yes,
it's not terrifying. It's not to be unseen. It's really, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take we're just gonna stop for like 10 seconds so that I can throw an image of Sean Connery as Zardoz up on your screen. Hold on, bask in this,
and then another 15 seconds so you can bleach your eyes
and vomit into a trash can. Let's just see this. Hold on, real quick. Isn't it beautiful?
No.
Isn't she beautiful?
No, it's not. It's Sean Connery in a loincloth.
It's wonderful. It really, really is. Yeah, so the business with Zardoz, who's not Zardoz, and the Warlocks and the House of the Undying, they clearly... How is that, dude? How is anybody other than the Warlocks in charge of the city? Let's start there. They clearly have real power. Now, admittedly, and I guess I know the answer to this question now that I've run my mouth about it, the presence of the dragons makes their power that much more potent.
They also have crippling drug addictions in the book. They're addicted to that nightshade that turns their lips blue, and so they're really just heightened. Not Satanists, hippies, maybe. They sit around and get stoned all the time and pretend that they have power, or take what little power they do and, hype it.
Yeah, I suppose that's the answer to that question. Living paycheck to paycheck is Zardoz. The no money thing down in the vault was kind of a dead giveaway, but living paycheck to paycheck, he's the epitome of that. Well done. You've got your house mortgaged up to the hilt. You've got your car.
All your ships. Everything's mortgaged.
Much mortgage. Such wow.
He's like the Black Trump. With no bankruptcy courts.
Yes. There's clearly so much more going on in Karth and between Zardoz and his relationship with the Warlocks and
now I can't hear you say Zardoz without saying Sean Connery.
That's a gift. Everybody who's watching.
You want to come marry me, Danny, mother of dragons? Let me take you away. I will give you ships, and we will go claim your throne.
Okay, yeah. There's clearly so much more going on in Karth, and the TV show just doesn't do a good job of illustrating those relationships. That's something that I think my wife is reading the books right now. I'll actually be kind of interested to hear about.
Fortunately, and this is spoiler alert here. Danny spends very little time in Essos, comes back to Westeros right away, and gets the plot on with things.
Oh, really?
No.
Well,
she has many more adventures in the East.
That's too bad. Well, she's on a boat.
She's on a boat.
So it can't be that bad. Where's she sailing to? Isn't the whole point of her getting on a boat so that she could sail across the narrow sea?
I presume she's on a boat to Pentos, yes?
I don't know.
You have to go back and look.
Because she's on the boat. She's on the boat sailing somewhere, because where she ends up getting off the boat is where she runs into Barristan.
Barristan. That's still in Essos.
Well, then where the hell was she sailing to? I don't know.
One of the 3 cities. So, free cities.
Yeah. Not across the...
Not across the Narrow Sea.
Not across the Narrow Sea, then. So she was sailing somewhere. Still looking for the army. That's the other thing that I guess kind of... Yeah, I realized that there were only... this is the beginning of season 3 stuff again. But she shows up to this place where this guy is showing all these really, really awesome, amazing troops to her.
The Unsullied.
I guess. Somebody gets their nipple cut off again. Who does that?
Because they feel no pain. It was a demonstration.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah. Because they're not people; they're slaves.
If there are that many really, really amazing shock troops running around overseas that she can build an army, how have they not just? How is that entire part of the world not just in a constant state of civil war? There's just random packs of super soldiers here, and there's another one here, and there's one over there, and this is Sparta.
Goes more into it in the book, but the Unsullied are basically so expensive that nobody can afford to buy more than 1,000 at a time. They're sold in legions of 1,000, and they're usually used as elite bodyguards. They're not used as foot soldiers.
I see. No, in the money situation, she has enough money to buy a small ship now. So where's she going to come up with the rest of the money to buy her mercenaries? We haven't really covered that in the show yet.
Good.
Okay. Noted.
That will be a big part of our season 3 recap.
Yeah, season 2 definitely better than season 1 by virtue of just understanding where the show is going a little bit more.
And Marjorie.
And Marjorie's dresses.
And Rose Leslie. And Charles Dance and Arya scenes.
It's true. I have to know. Just Jake and pop back up.
Jaqen H'ghar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
And Tyrion and Shay. There's much to be spoken of for season 2.
Yeah, season 2 is just flat out better than season 1. We'll have to wait and see here in a couple of days.
Yeah, we may be having just some middle of next week. We'll be back with season 3. I guess that's the way they're tearing through this.
Yeah.
So.
Nope, probably. But until then, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.